Hey everyone, welcome to another StarCraft 2 weekend, and this weekend I do have something very special for you guys. I finally did receive, one of you guys did send me one of the replays for Stephano versus LucifroN for the MSI World Cup France, and of course this is just happened some time back, so of course these tournaments are very fresh indeed, and of course we do all know Stephano as one of the, you can say, one of the best international known Zerg players out there, so it's going to be a very interesting game. And LucifroN, of course, is also known to be one of, you could say, a very good 10 player, you know, obviously in the Pro League so far. So let's take a look at the map itself. The map itself is Valais Enclave. So on the top left corner we do have LucifroN as the green Terran player, and on the bottom left we do have Stephano as, of course, the white Zerg player. So let's speed it up just a bit, as nothing so far is going to be happening in the beginning. Of course, Stephano sending off that Overlord just to see exactly what you can say LucifroN has in plan, just to keep that additional scouting, and of course the other Overlord as well is moving forward. In both cases, both the teams are just joining up, and ironically both the teams did go for that expand, so that hatchery did come down by Stephano, and of course that command center as well. Stephano did, I do believe, spot this out. Yeah, he just did spot that out, so he knows that the second command center is coming in line for LucifroN, which should give him a little bit of, you know, ease, as he knows that that second command center did come in line. He did directly go for that third hatchery, so Stephano did move in for that third hatchery as quickly as possible, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see if it's going to pay off for that third hatchery to get those additional resources. Again, it is pretty risky to go for that third hatchery in the beginning of the game as it is now, so let's see if it's going to pay off. Of course, that orbital command upgrade is coming online as quickly as possible. Spawning pool nearly complete as well. Still droning up, nothing happening so far for Stephano. He is droning up, while we do have LucifroN going for those double gases, so we should have, I do believe, Banshee build, a Banshee Hellion push from the looks of it, as he is going for that early gas, so we're going to have early Banshee, probably Hellion harass, we shall see, but for sure we know that it's going to be Hellion harass due to the reactor that was just switched by that factory, and of course the starport. So this should be a tech lab. Yeah, it is tech lab, so he's going for that Banshee Hellion harass, so LucifroN is going to be going for that. He's still on 2 bases, while Stephano did go for 3 base push. Of course, just getting up with that gas. So far, not really doing anything so far. Stephano is just busy droning up and getting as many of those drones up and running. We do have finally Cloak Research, who is finally going in for that Banshee harass. So Cloak Banshee is coming into play with a couple of Hellions, and that's pretty much it for LucifroN's build. And there's nothing really Stephano has currently now to counteract this. He only has a couple of Queens to counteract these 4 Hellions. I do believe once the other Hellion does plop down, it should pretty much, here the other 2 Hellions do plop down, this should pretty much, you can say, reinforce LucifroN's push towards Stephano. So another scout coming down for the actual central map of the Zolnaga Tower. A couple of evolution chambers being placed in the front, of course, to provide that 1-1 upgrade, and as well to provide a sort of semi-wall and prevent the Hellions from running around those Queens and directly moving down towards the third base. So far, this destructible debris is going to be pretty, you can say, devastating. That spine collar just in time did prevent LucifroN from moving forward, and finally we do have the reinforcements as needed. These 2 Hellions and that Banshee should pretty much give it for LucifroN, and yes, he's moving forward. That scan coming down, and that Cloak Research just about complete, so this should be very good for, you can say, LucifroN. LucifroN's moving forward, close. That Banshee managed to take out that Queen, and this Queen's also as well going to drop. Second Queen drops. Third Queen on the way. No, he decides to ditch everything. Banshee's just going to be going for the Queens, and of course we do have those Hellions moving in for the production line. Of course, Stephano did place down a couple of evolution chambers to prevent that push by LucifroN, and he does place down another evolution chamber as well to prevent that push from these Hellions. He does, again, very nice macro by LucifroN to try to prevent as much damage as possible, and does manage to fry the majority of the Zerglings, and again does manage to push forward. Again, we do have a lot of Zerglings coming in for Stephano, and that should pretty much be it for LucifroN's, you can say, early on push, and that Overseer is in place, so finally he should be able to take out this Banshee. He needs to put in those Spark Callers as close as possible, and do we have that? Yeah, we do have that Infestation Pit, so we should finally hopefully see some Infestors coming into play, so this is really key to be able to push this out. So far, Achilles heel for Stephano is these Banshees. So will he be able to? I do believe that this should pretty much push away those Banshees. Very nice counter by Stephano, finally placing that spawn crawler exactly where he does need it. Still a couple of Zerglings, not enough to be able to deal with this many Hellions, and that should pretty much be it. Of course, we do have that continuous Banshee support Banshee harass by LucifroN moving in. Finally, one of those Banshees falls down, but the Spore Caller as well, he cloaks it. But that Overseer does give that, of course, the vision of these Banshees themselves. So Overseer will be moved into play, and that Queen does drop again. One of those Banshees continuing for the production line. Spore Caller does manage to drop that Banshee as well. Hellions moving forward, fry up that Queen, moving directly into the production line. Of course, we do have another Spine Call, a little bit too late placements for StarCraft. StarCraft, of course, retreating with his drones, and we do have 14 more Zerglings coming into play, but I don't really believe that should be enough to deal with the actual amount of Hellions that LucifroN has. Of course, those Zerglings, again, trying to surround those Hellions, but not really very effective, as very nice, you can say, kiting by LucifroN is being made there, and he is probably, is he going to be targeting firing those infestors? No, he's going for that production line, cutting, really killing off that production line. We do have that third command center as well online for LucifroN, and that should pretty much be it. Those Zerglings are going to be fried, but that also will prevent and push off that push by LucifroN. And finally, he is going to be targeting firing those infestors, so we do finally have that research pathogen glands coming online. 1-1 upgrades as well for LucifroN. So far, it's not looking up for Stephano at all. We do have the 1-1 upgrades for LucifroN. Stephano just about finishing the 1 upgrades for his Zerglings. 5 infestors finally in play, so hopefully those infestors should pretty much take that out. Hellions moving forward to try to prevent those Queens from taking out. And the Banshee, that first Queen drops, and sorry, first Hellion drops, second Hellion as well drops. Banshees, of course, trying to take as many of those Zerglings out as possible. So really, Achilles' heel for Stephano is that he can't deal with his Banshees. Banshees are giving so much additional damage and so many additional kills. Really, look at the amount of kills per these Banshees. You got 6 kills per one of the Banshees. That's a very high amount of kills. We do have around 4 kills for those Hellions. Again, he's going to include that production line. We do have 2 Spine Callers, 3 Spine Callers, 4 Spine Callers placed down. One of them already dropped. So 3 Spine Callers did survive. He is going to be dropping that cancelled, of course, that third Spine Caller as well. Overseer moving into place so we can spot those. He cancelled everything else out here as well, just to prevent the actual units from moving forward by LucifroN. Finally, a very good fungal by those infestors, and that should pretty much call it for these Hellions. And of course, the surround by the Zerglings will mop up the rest of the Hellions. So that's pretty much it for that small little battle there. And more Banshees, of course, coming into play. That Blue Flame upgrade for those Hellions as well is coming online, and more Hellions. So really, he is really sticking to that Hellion push, and there's nothing really Stephano can do. He really needs more infestors and more Zerglings, and especially needs to get his economy up and running, especially with that many losses to his economy. There's nothing much he can do currently now, as the economy, I do believe, if we do look at the units, look at the amount, we have 41 drones for Stephano and 83 for LucifroN. So really, the economy for LucifroN is double that, and we do see that the amount of crystals that he does have is very effective. So he can be producing Hellions at a very big scale. But hopefully, if those infestors do come into play, he should pretty much take care of that. A couple of infested Terrans moving in, so they should hatch and pretty much push away those Hellions. And he is still going in for that production line, so hopefully he'll be able to drop in a couple of more Hellions. But that should pretty much be it. Fungal placed down by those infestors, and those Hellions to drop again. More infestors move in, and that Spine Caller really is not going to do very much damage. Those Zerglings are pretty much going to get fried. There's too many Hellions to deal with this few. There's too many Hellions to deal with this few Zerglings. So if the Stephano does want to push, he's going to have to push with more Zerglings, but there's nothing much he can do. Of course, Pro's being pulled off the line, and he's picking them off, and of course Stephano does call it a well-played game. Let's just take a look at exactly how many racks of factories he did have. We do have 3 up here, and we do have 3, 4. He did have 5 racks of 5 racks of the factories. Most of them, of course, are with the tech lab. We do have just 1 with the reactor, so he was hopefully planning to switch into, or he could switch into the actual proper tech build, that being tanks and Thors, the moment he did need that to be. Of course, we do have very nice saturation by all the bases from LucifroN, so really economically wise, LucifroN was on the better end, and of course upgrade wise as well, he was on the better end. So as always, happy gaming, and see you guys in game 2. Bye.